Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to change a ballast in a fluorescent light fixture. I'm just going to go over quickly the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need some type of pair of pliers, wire cutters, wire nuts, new ballast, and a ladder so you can get to the light fixture. So basically this is a 4-bulb light fixture, fluorescent. These ballasts work with 2-bulb fixtures, or they work together for 4-bulb fixtures. And so we'll be going through just step by step the process of changing these ballasts out. Now before you begin, you're going to want to make sure that your light switch is off and that your breaker to your power source from your panel box is off as well, so that you don't get electrocuted through this process. Alright, so now we're back at the light fixture here, and so you see these little clips. You're going to want to pull those down. You see how that top is releasing? You got one on each side. Yours may have just a plastic cover. The same type of way, you just lift it off of the side. It's kind of like a lift that catches it. Alright, so you can see we have 4 bulbs here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so all 4 bulbs, and you see this white metal thing right here in the middle. That is where your ballast is going to be located. But in order to get to it, we're actually going to have to take these 2 center bulbs out. So this is the piece we're going to take that off, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second after I get these bulbs out. Alright, so I got the center bulbs out, and you can see right here how this is made. This is a lip that's actually holding a piece of the metal. And so this thing, you actually just close it together and it meant to pop off. You got 1 on each side. Sometimes there's 3, 1 in the middle. And then we're just going to take this section of the light fixture down. And you can see the ballast is kind of starting to be revealed up there. So we'll put this to the side. And then, like I said, this fixture has 2 ballasts. And so the way that these ballasts are held in is you've got a small screw that holds them in. So you got one on this side, it's holding that one in, and there's a lip that catches this side, and then there's a screw on this side with a lip that catches it on that side. So we're going to remove those, and then they'll be ready to come out. Alright, so before we start taking it apart here, I'm just going to kind of talk about the wiring process of how we're going to do this. So each ballast has 2 yellow wires coming out of it, a black one, a white one, 2 red ones, and 2 blue ones. So what we're going to do, instead of taking all the wires completely out and running them all the way back to each socket over here where the bulbs actually plug in, the bulbs were still making good connections and contacts with the sockets. So we're actually going to cut the wires right here in the middle and then use the wire nuts to put them together. So you want to cut your wires before you disconnect this screw up here. And so that way, as soon as you undo that screw, you can get it out. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is this is where your main power comes in over here. So your black one and your white one, they're going to come, and your wires should be black and white coming out of the ceiling as well. So obviously everything's color coded. The white ones go to the white ones, the black ones go to the black ones, the blue ones go to the blue ones, the red ones go to the red ones, and the yellow ones go to the yellow ones. Don't mix up which ballast goes where. So we're going to do these one at a time so that we don't get mixed up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these, show you kind of what I'm talking about. This yellow wire here running all the way to over here is actually from the second ballast. So we're doing this one right now. So we're actually going to have to cut the yellow wires that run that way. So here we go. We're going to cut these wires right here, all these colored ones. And then we're going to leave that yellow one there. We're going to pull this yellow one down. I'm going to cut it somewhere over here. Let's see if I can get both of them here. Alright, get those cut. And then you can notice that they have wire nuts on these these white and black ones. We're going to go ahead and take those wire nuts out and undo those wires from that, so we can just disconnect those. So get this off. This wire nut's a little small to be holding all three of those wires, so I actually might put another one on there. These have been on in here a long time. One thing that you might notice as well is that the ballasts that I'm putting back are a lot significantly smaller, and not only smaller but lighter. Okay, so this one's like really tough, stuck on there, so we're gonna actually just go ahead and cut it, and we'll put new wire nuts on that end, so make all these connections fresh again. Alright, so I got those cut, so now the power is disconnected from that. So this is your main power feeding in from your ceiling, that is powering your light fixture. So we're just going to leave that on the side right now, and we don't need to touch those. You can cap those back off, but we've got the breakers off, so there ain't nothing going to happen with those being exposed right now. Alright, so I didn't include this in the items needed because typically it's a little nut, and so I used a pair of pliers. But you see this screw is what's holding this second ballast in. So I'm going to go ahead and just start unscrewing. You needed a Phillips head screwdriver for this one. You may need your pair of pliers. You may need a little nut driver or a little socket. Sometimes they're flatheads. Typically they're a nut driver though. Alright, so but as soon as that comes out, as soon as you get that screw out, I'll take you over to this side so you can see. So the screw is in the hole on this side. Well, this side has the little lip. It just slides out. So the new one is going to do the opposite. It's actually just going to slide right back in to that little divot, and then you'll screw it back in to replace the new one. But I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Alright, so I got the new ballast here, and this is the old ballast. As you can see, they're significantly different in size and actually weight. So these new ones are a lot less, or a lot more energy efficient, and you know, more versatile, and they don't weigh near as much, and they don't cost, or they cost pretty much the same as the old ones used to, but they are more versatile. So if you look here, it says that they're good for 120 volts all the way up to 277 volts. That's what that means. So like, you don't have to just be running 120 or 110 through them. You can actually run like 240 through them as well, and they'd be fine. But as you can see, these wires are all like really long, and that's because they give you enough wire for, if you needed to run it all the way back up into each one of these sockets. But we're not going to do all that today. We're actually just going to meet them right here in the middle and splice them all together. But before you do that, you want to secure your new ballast. So you're going to slide it into the little slot there, and then you're going to take your screw, and you're going to find your hole on this side. Let's see if we can see this because of the wires here. Yeah, okay. So we're going to find our hole, which is right there, and then we're going to put our screw in it. Get it started a little bit with my hand there, and then I'm going to take my screwdriver and really get it in, get it going. Alright, so now the ballast is secure, and we're going to start walking through the process of redoing the wires. Now like I said, this is a ton too much wire, so we're actually going to cut some of this, even the one that we already cut, to size, and you're going to want to leave probably about an inch for it to meet, to overlap, so that it can be connected properly with a good connection. So I'm going to show you how to kind of cut some of these wires, and so what we're going to do is I'm going to put them together and put them up straight, and then come down about an inch, like I said, and just cut them all off so that they're not too long there. And then we'll just discard the rest of the wire. that was there. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to go one at a time. We're connecting the red to the red. It doesn't matter which one, just red to red. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your wire cutters and you're going to strip this first little section here. And you want to do it about, you know, a 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch, so that you get a good piece of copper showing, so that you can make a good connection with the other wire. So then we're going to do the other side. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I like to take my pair of pliers and get 2 of them and put them together and kind of start to twist them together with my hands here, like that. And then take my pliers and really get a good squeeze on them and twist them up so that there's no doubt that we've got a good connection. Now if it's a little long, if you've cut them a little long and you still need to get your wire nut on there and the wire nut's not going to cover everything, you can snip a little section of them off and that'll keep it, you know, nice and good and crimped. And then you do the same for the next one here. We're going to start twisting them up by hand first. And once you get a good little twist on them, we're going to take the pliers again. There goes my screwdriver. Take the pliers again and twist it up. And then this one's a little long as well, so we're going to snip a little bit off right there. And then we're going to take our wire nuts and we're just going to secure those connections. And you want to twist that wire nut until it gets good and tight. And then kind of form it so that it stays out of the way. Everything's nice and neat. And we'll do the next one. Get that good and tight. And we're going to do that same process for the blue wires, the yellow wires, and the white and black wires. 4 of these right here done. The 2 blues attached here and the 2 red ones attached there. Okay, and then if you go all the way over here, we've got the new yellow one attached there. So these right here are the blue and red ones for the other ballast. My black and white ones still are not connected to anything yet. We're gonna wait and do those last because all of the ballasts, both ballasts have to be tied in together to be put back on the actual power here on the end. So we're gonna save that for last. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut these wires on these blue and red ones, and then we're going to cut this yellow one and redo all of those. The process for doing these is going to be exactly the same as it was for the previous one. Undo the screw, cut the wires, undo the screw, put the new ballast in, and reattach the wires. Alright, so now we are done with this second ballast. I've got all 4 of these wires hooked up, red to red, blue to blue, yellow to yellow on this side. Okay, and then what we're going to do is now we're going to hook up the 2 white ones to this white line coming for the main power source, and then the 2 black ones to this black one here, also for the main power source. Now keep in mind again that all 4 of these wires are going to go together. So like the 2 black ones are going to attach together to each other and then to this black one. And so all 3 wires should be attached. Same thing with the white, all 3 white ones should be attached. The 2 ones from the ballast and the one feeding from the main panel. Alright, so we got all the wires hooked back up. As you can see here, I've got both the white ones feeding into here now, and then both of the black ones, the black wire from each ballast feeding there now. I've got all of the wires hooked up, kind of set up nice. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our cover back over the ballasts so that they stay out of the way of the fixture. So just like you took it off, just going to go up here, it goes back in, and then you crimp it into those little slots that they got. Alright, so we got our centerpiece put back in, we've got the bulbs put back in. You just you push these in through the little slot right there, and then you twist them until they make connection. And then we're going to turn our breaker back on, and then we'll see if these lights work. Alright, Alright, here we are back at the fixture. We're going to test this light and flip the light switch on. And there it is. All 4 bulbs are working properly now. And you're ready to go. So you just take this screen, push it back up on the ceiling, pop those clips in place. And you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Hope this video was helpful. Please rate, comment, like, and subscribe.